Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to TekTopia. So come check this out guys, our miner has been doing his fair share of mining in between episodes and I guess in the episodes whilst I'm recording, but you get what I mean. So this mine shaft is actually all the way down to the final point, I believe he can't go any further. Having said that, it is still glowing, so maybe there's still some wiggle room down there, but this one has become inactive because I'm fairly certain there's some sort of water or lava block behind there, so that stops the miner in his path and makes the mine shaft invalid. So in the meantime, I'm just going to shift it down to this one. And yeah, that will basically serve for quite a lot of time. He will have some rocks to mine, but I definitely think at some point during this episode I would like to get myself a druid, but that is not going to be the first thing we do. Hello, we were just talking about you. Whilst I was sorting out my intro in replay mod, I checked to see what was stopping the mine shaft over there, and it's actually the village border. So, hindsight, I probably shouldn't have built it over there. That maybe wasn't the smartest of choices, but once we have a lot of druids, the length of the tunnels become obsolete really. It doesn't matter how far they can stretch because they will almost always be regenerated. But anyway, the first thing I want to build in today's episode is to make a couple of additions to our entranceway that we built last episode, and what I'm going to build right now may seem familiar to those of you who have been watching this series for, let's say, more than a month. This is one of the two guard statues we are having on the entranceway to our village as you walk in. I think it's going to look really cool once we get the second one up, which I'll do in just a second. But the reason it might seem familiar to some of you is because we actually built something similar to this in the previous village. Goodbye, merchant. So I don't actually... Oh, you got out just in time there, buddy. Before the gate shut up. So I don't know who originally came up with these type of statue designs. They're kind of all over the place on the internet, so I can't really credit the original creator because I don't know who it was, but I do these all the time. I have for the longest time and I really like them, so I'm going to quickly try and build one here. I attempted to do building on camera last episode, didn't go very well, so hopefully this is going to be a little simpler. I basically have to copy this but on the other side, so let's find out where our fence is placed. It's on that second gap there, so we can do the stick that he's holding first of all. Let's just hop on top. No, maybe not. Let's hop on top. Let's try that again. And then we can go at 1, 2, 3. So we've got a 4 high thing there. Place a sandstone block as part of his arm and 2 more there. Then we can continue his arm a little further and place his broad shoulders going across like this. We'll come back and do the bottom half later. We might as well do the head while we're up here. We can put his big square head in place and then we'll hop down now, finish the rest of his torso, put in his other arm here, and the legs are a little trickier than everything else, but let's just copy what we've done over here. So we need a block there, a slab, not a slab, that's a stair, some blocks going down like this, and then his foot there. So that's copied right correctly, I think so. And then on the back side here, we want to put a full, that's a stair. I need to place the right block, that would be helpful. Full block there, full block here, and then add his knee there, and the rest of, well, his other foot back there. So yeah, that's just a really cool thing to look at when you come into the village. I quite like that. Ian Balassi, I think, is the person who created all of those statues. I wanted to do a little bit more in-depth research to try and find the creator because that's twice I've used it now in this series. Feels wrong to not give credit where credit is due, and when you Google his name, the statues are just all over the images, so I'm assuming he is the original creator of those designs. I do not need all the hearts that spawn in this village. I had a good, like, I don't know, it must have been nearing 50 left over from the old village. I didn't bring any of them over because I knew I wasn't going to need them, but yeah, I'm already stacking up on the hearts, so we will probably use them today at some point to spawn some children when we want some new villagers, but I'm not going to do that just yet. What I would actually like to do now is build a building that isn't one that's related to TekTopia. It's going to be purely cosmetic, but I think it's going to be a pretty cool idea. So it's going to be a bathhouse, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the time lapse. I'm right now just trying to think of a place I want to build it. I'm trying to be somewhat cautious of where I build things because this is all going to be a very tightly compacted village, and yeah, I kind of want to start doing that from the get-go, so I'm thinking I'm going to build it fairly close by to something else. I'm just not really sure what at the moment. Maybe the fountain over here, that would probably make sense. For those of you who don't already know what a bathhouse is, pretty much it was a place for people to go and wash themselves, because many years ago nobody would have a means to wash themselves in their own house. They wouldn't have their own bath, so they would have to go to a communal building to do that. Obviously not the most hygienic, but there we go, that's just how things were back then, right? And I thought it would just be a cool building to add, but I have no idea what a bathhouse would look like, especially in the style that we're doing, so I thought I would just do something a bit different and kind of make it up and say this is a bathhouse. So I'm building a mini coliseum. We're taking the whole structure of what a coliseum would be, a circular shape with a bunch of pillars pretty much, and having it all very open so you can walk in from every side, and then shrinking it down to a reasonable size so it's not just a massive building. And I think it looks pretty cool. And then we're going to fill the roof up here with a bunch of water, and this is actually going to be where it flows down into the bath. I don't particularly know how it would work. Maybe there's some sort of piping in the pillars that is hidden away, but yeah, you're going to have to use your imagination a little bit, like always. So yeah, we have a little bit of a leak in the ceiling, which is fine actually, because all it means is we have some water particles dripping down, which, you know, I won't come in here that often, so it's not really too big of a deal. I'm just thinking right now if I want to do something with this outer line here. I'm not too sure if I'm fond of this whole area right now, but it looks fine for now. I will leave it for the moment. So what I've got to do now is pretty much dig out. I've got to dig out a big area, not big out a dig area, down here, and fill it with water. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do at all, really. I have not planned this part out because, yeah, I got to mess around with this falling sand. It's going to be a pain in the butt to do, but I got to do it. So not too sure how big I'm going to make this. I suppose I can make it as big as I really want to. We have all the room we want underground. So yeah, I'm going to get digging and see what I can come up with. Turns out I did in fact have limited room when it came to digging this out, because my creeper farm chute is like a few blocks behind these ones, so I couldn't really go much further out than this. But to be honest, there doesn't really need to be anything in here other than this big pool of water here. I don't know what else would be in a bathhouse other than one big bath, so that's all I've done. They can come and sit on the side here if they don't want to actually be in the water. And it looks all toasty and stuff from the flames underneath. I've just got some fire, and these are bottom level half slabs, so the smoke particles shoot up through. Looks very toasty, and I would want to jump in if it wasn't communal. But for the video's sake, to show you what it looks like when you're in the pool, I shall do it. Oh god, it feels wrong. Like there's something touching my leg. I don't like it. So yeah, my head just pokes above the water, which I think is a nice height. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. So not really anything going down here. If you guys have any suggestions of stuff I could add, perhaps, then please feel free to let me know. But this build, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. Let's get out of the water. I really don't like being in here. I do like hearing the flames crackle though. I think it sounds quite nice. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what else to put down here, so any suggestions, please feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will implement them in a couple of episodes time when I do in fact read the comments. I am hoping to at some point be able to get that druid token, as well do a lot of other trading, but the merchant here isn't really providing me with many good deals at the moment. Well, actually that's unfair to say for the merchant. He's doing fine, but my villagers still aren't exactly producing many resources. If we just kind of take a look around in some of the chests here, there's too many. I don't know which one. This is where all of the crops are, which I have enough of, but because I've already traded wheat and potatoes a lot, those are not very expensive to sell. And then we've got a few things created by the blacksmith which sell for a bit more. You can see I made a bunch of stone tools, so they went a bit quicker. They are still in there. I did that a long time ago. Oh, come on, I want to show you. Yeah, see, he's making, for some reason, that is white text instead of green. Don't particularly know why. There's some shears in here. Those are also white text. That happens sometimes. I don't really know why, but yeah, so he's making stuff, but never seems to line up with what the merchant is actually selling. So I think at some point or another, I'm going to have to do some digging for emeralds to get them that way, because, yeah, trading doesn't really seem to be an option at the moment. Anyway, I am not actually going to head down to the caves just yet, mainly because I don't really want to right now. I want to do some building instead, so I think for the meantime we are going to start in making the ultimate tavern, at least what I'm deeming it to be anyway. So this tavern isn't going to be your usual one. It's going to be a lot more exciting than that. It's going to involve having several tokens within one building, more than just a couple. It's actually going to have quite a lot, and it's going to be a bit more realistic maybe to what a usual tavern would be. And I think it's going to have a really nice atmosphere to walk around in when it's all said and done. But the first thing I need to do is actually build the main part of the building up before we can start doing the interior, which is, for once, the exciting part as opposed to the exterior. So yeah, I'm going to find a place to start building that and get that all done. As you saw, I went down into the caves in search for emeralds, and once again it was very generous with them, so we have now over a stack of emeralds, which is awesome. We will be sure to use them at some point in this episode, but for now I want to talk a little bit about this building. So I know it's very similar to the one we have over there behind the storage building. It's got the same like roof design and general shape to it, so I think it looks very similar, but it's actually quite a bit different if you focus in on the details. Not that I will, you've just seen me build it all, so I don't need to go through it all again. But yeah, generally I quite like the shape of this building, and I have yet to do the interior, which we will get to in just a little bit. It is very open and ready for some blocks to be placed down, so I'm excited to do that. But there's just something I want to do quickly first, which is actually to name the cats inside of the town hall here. So a couple of episodes ago, I asked you guys on what we should call these two, and once again got many suggestions. You guys certainly delivered. You two okay? Just having a good time in there? I'm sure you are. So I want to give a couple of honorable mentions before I show you what they're actually called. So I had a comment from Mirways Jan, who suggested Noir for the black one and Alani for this ginger one over here, and I put the comment and the reasoning on the screen. I do really like those names, especially Alani. I think you would have made for a great Alani, wouldn't you, kitty? Not gonna meow? Oh, there we go. A couple of other you suggested Cleopatra for one of them, which obviously is very fitting. But the one that I'm pretty much using is from Flo, who suggested Geb and Newt, who are actually the god. Geb is the god of the earth, the Egyptian god of the earth, and Newt is the Egyptian goddess of the sky. Hopefully that's the right way round. And yeah, that kind of led me on a little bit of an Egyptian god and goddess history lesson, mainly trying to find out how the names are actually pronounced. And that led me to discover that the god of the sun, or technically the noon sun when it's in the middle here, is referred to as Ra, but when it is rising in the morning like it is over here, it is called, or he is referred to as Khepri, and when it's setting over this way, he is referred to Atum. So you can probably see where I'm going with this. So since the sun rises over here, this cat is known as Khepri, and since the sun sets over this side, this cat is known as Atum. Now, does that mean we have to worship them from here on out? I don't know, I'll have to leave that up to you guys, but what I'm going to do now is decorate part of this interior. I'm not going to do it all, mainly because, well, I want to kind of do this in parts and talk about it bit by bit, but we're going to do the downstairs and the upstairs, or, well, technically the middle floor. There's more to come on that later, so we're going to do this floor and the top one here, and yeah, going to decorate it all, and then I will show you around the place. Real quick before we head on inside so I can show you what I've done, I just want to mention, in case you missed the video that went out sometime earlier this week, I now have a public Discord server that you are more than welcome to come and join. So if you want to chat and just hang out and have a good time, feel free to do that. It will be linked in the description, and I think it should be quite a fun thing and bring our little community even closer together. Alright, let me show you what I've actually done here. So the ground level is going to be the drinking and eating part of the tavern. Now, there's quite a lot going on in here, so I'll try to show you each part. And I should also say, these carpets probably won't be staying here. They tend to cause pathfinding issues, but I just wanted to show you what it would look like before I got rid of them, because I most likely will have to, but gonna leave them for now and see if they cause a problem or not. But yeah, we've got this big grand table in the middle where most of our villagers will be going. And then we've got a few smaller tables dotted around the place, 3 of them in fact. This is a note block covered in item frames. This is where the bard will stand and play, because that's what the note block does in the tavern, in case you didn't know. Not too sure if the item frames are going to cause an issue, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep this, but I had this big open gap here and I wanted to put something down. So yeah, I've got this for now. It may be going there, I'm not too certain if I want to keep it or not. And then, you know, I'm thinking this tavern, everybody is going to like trust each other, and the people who work here, you know, don't think the guests are going to try and rob you or anything. They all like each other, they're all friends. It's one big whole community, right? So the chests are actually accessible for everybody, but they just assume that they're not going to bother touching their rags or glasses or whatever they would store in here, you know. So we've got a bar over here which actually has a little bit of a drive-through window, so maybe if a villager just wanted to grab a drink but didn't want to come in, they could stick their hand through and ask the barman to grab one for them. I'm also thinking maybe I might put a chair down here so it looks like we actually have somebody sat at the bar. I think would be quite cool. I also need to put some more chairs here, but I ran out and I only just realized like as I record this clip. So yeah, bar over here, not finished yet, but all I've got to do is place down a couple more chairs. I will get to what this is going to be in a little bit, but for now let's head on upstairs and I can show you what that is, which is actually the kitchen part of this whole tavern, because a tavern isn't just drinking, you know, you need a place to make the drinks. Obviously they will only be making food and they won't actually be delivering it to the tavern, they'll be taking it to the storage room, but you get my idea here. So I was actually able to decorate this somewhat nicely, which should be all functional. I don't see why not. All it really needs to have in a kitchen are some workbenches and furnaces, which is what we've got. 15 furnaces in total, so fingers crossed that should be enough. We've got 3 crafting benches if we ever want to have 3 chefs. I believe that's how they work. Up the top here we've just got some tools hanging down to look like some kitchen utensils. Maybe this is a rolling pin, one giant spoon. I'm not too sure. As per usual, use your imagination for that one. We've got a cauldron. Better have some way to wash their hands. I mean, they have a bathhouse which they all share, so maybe they're not the most hygienic bunch, but yeah, this is the kitchen. And of course, these are meant to be like some stove type of deals. I forget what they're called, but you know, you have those things over ovens. Yeah, those things. Google tells me they are apparently called kitchen hoods, so yeah, we have some kitchen hoods over our furnaces here with some toppers to them. Maybe this is a saucepan of sorts, or some sort of protection over the actual stove to keep it away from being touched while it's hot, and maybe these are some plates or something like that ready to go down to the tavern. Not too sure exactly what you 3 are playing at. Maybe you're all queuing up to worship the cats, but nonetheless I'd rather you stop doing that, so could you just get back to work, all 3 of you, please? No? Nothing? Can anybody shine some light on why this happens a lot? They tend to freeze around here, and generally just all of my villagers like to stop what they're doing. I'm wondering maybe if it's because these are half slabs, because I'm a cheapo and didn't want to do full blocks, but yeah, they always seem to just kind of wait around here. Are you stuck on these blocks again? Is it the plant pots causing issues once more? No, oh, now you're joining them, JP. Goodness gracious, what is going on here? A quick relog seems to have done the issue. They're all going for a quick bath by the looks of it. Nope, maybe not. Yeah, don't know why they do that, but it's certainly slightly annoying. Whilst I work on the downstairs part of the build, I figure I may as well go ahead and spawn in a child. Since they take a good 5 days to grow up, I may as well do it now whilst I get on with some other work. So we're going to spawn this person in, who is Naomi Donegan, who is eventually going to become our druid. A few days have passed by since that last clip, as I took some time off over Christmas. As you can tell from the chest, that's around about the time I'm recording this, but yeah, back to it. So I believe we just spawned in a child, right? And she, I think, has now grown up, which, yep, there she is. Naomi was your name, maybe? But before we give her a druid token, I want to show you the downstairs, what I've done. So hopefully this is... Oh, I should probably explain what it is first of all. Okay, so this is going to be the inn part of the tavern. We've got the kitchen upstairs, the tavern in the middle part, and then the inn downstairs, which is just going to have a bunch of little rooms, which obviously I've done. So yeah, let's head on down. So I'm hoping this one wide staircase is going to not cause any issues. There shouldn't be a time when some villagers are coming down and some are going up. It should just be one general flow at all time. In the morning they will all be going up, in the evening they will all be coming down. So fingers crossed it should work and they shouldn't get like stuck on each other, but I will have to wait and see. If that does happen, I guess I will just have to have this to be non-functional and just have it here. But yeah, anyway, so we're just gonna have a bunch of 2-person homes down here. They are all big enough, there shouldn't be any overcrowding, give or take a couple of blocks. So this is the first room, very basic. I'm not gonna spend too long showing you guys all of them because they're identical on the other side. And then the next room changes a little bit of a different design. We've got a wardrobe in here, and yeah, just a little table, some paintings, of course, my custom ones. Same on this side. Probably don't need to be showing you guys all of this, but hey, I will nonetheless. And this is the final room, perhaps the best room, because it has an aquarium. The fish don't look too good, but I can assure you they're fine. So yeah, that's that one, and of course the same on this side. 14 emeralds is the price of the druid token, I think. Yep, there we go. I've set these aside, so we will grab one of these, and then let's try go find Naomi. Is she gonna be nearby, or am I gonna have to... Oh, no, there she is. We can do it without cutting. Okay, come here, Naomi. You are finally going to have a job. You've been kind of walking around aimlessly for a little while, so I'm gonna leave the... Oh, level 15. That's pretty good. I'm going to leave all of these ticks, so she's going to do some earth reform underground, and she will grow the trees over there and the crops over there. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let her just spend all of her time down in the mines, because, yeah, all the crops are pretty much always grown, and same with the trees, but I've just lost her. Come back, Naomi. Stop running away. Oh, actually, I want to check something. Is there a villager sat out on this chair? No. I do often see one from time to time. There you are. Okay, so we are just going to untick these. She's still going to read in the library, still going to visit the tavern, which we will do in a little bit, put the token in place, and yeah, she's going to spend all of her time down in the mines, bringing the ores back to life in the mine shafts. Really? 1 emerald short? Are you kidding? Okay, I'm now going to have to wait until morning to trade with the merchant, just so I can get that extra emerald to afford the tavern. I'm not actually going to be buying any of the 2-person homes or the kitchen on the upstairs, because, well, that's going to be very expensive, and I also don't have any chefs at the moment, nor do we need any more bed spaces, but eventually we will get those other ones in place. But yeah, just for today's episode, we're going to get the tavern up and running when I eventually get 1 measly emerald. The Under and Out Bar and Inn is now open for business. If any of you recognize where this is from, I will be very impressed, and I'm not going to keep it a secret because I don't think any of you will. This is actually what I called my tavern in my very first series on YouTube, creating a community. Had a very similar idea to what TekTopia has become, but yeah, I had a tavern with an underground inn underneath, so thought I'd name it that as somewhat of an homage to that build. Guys, what you doing? Do you not want to go to the tavern tonight? It's new, brand new and open. You can even stay there if you want. Well, technically you can't because I haven't placed the tokens down. But everyone seems to just be going home. Do I need a bard to let them go to the tavern? I don't think so. I'm fairly certain I'll just go there. Perhaps let's run over real quick and we can see if anybody's actually gone inside. I mean, it's flashing, so yeah, they should be able to use it. Oh, we have one person in the tavern. Who came in? Sadie. She was one of our first ones, wasn't she? Well done, Sadie. Maybe you could become the bard. No, I think I'd rather have a level 50 farmer than a level 12 bard. You want a drink? Fancy anything? Anything in particular? What's your poison, Sadie? Sadie? Oh, I thought this place was gonna be bumping, but nope, just me and you tonight. Yep. Okay. Well, hello, friend. Sadie just left me, and I was about to record my outro saying how nobody uses this place, but if you want to, I forgot your name. Whoops, sorry. Leighton, if you want to use it, then yeah, good on you, buddy. I will happily come serve you in a minute. But I think we're going to actually end off the episode here, guys. Hopefully the tavern gets a little busier soon enough because, well, I kind of need a thumbnail. So, yeah, I don't think this will make for a very good one. So, fingers crossed, eventually one of the nights, a few more villagers will come in here. But, yeah, I really like what we've done today. I hope you guys have too. Do you like it, Leighton? No, he's slowly shaking his head saying no. I know we don't have a bard, but I'm thinking maybe next episode we will do that. Having said that, next episode for everything I have planned, it's looking like a very expensive one, so it might mean yet another mining trip or, yeah, something along the lines of that. But yeah, as I said, that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching it. I really hope you did enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.